Hey guys, this is Joe Flaten with Konsyg. I am here with Richard Roocroft. Richard, would you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Hi everyone, I'm Richard Roocroft, Director of Global Sales at Interprefy. Interprefy is a software company. It's all about removing layers of cost associated to interpreting at events.
Interesting. So how does your company actually work at the moment, and kind of what have you noticed since the changes of 2020 have happened?
Cheers Joe. So for the past 5 years we were taking events online so that interpreters didn't need to be in the room, and so there was no booze, no hardware, and of course you didn't need to fly them in, put them in accommodation, etc.
Sure.
Nowadays we find ourselves, because we took the event online in the first place, we find ourselves dealing a lot more with virtual equivalents. And so business has actually been very good for us during COVID times.
Okay. Seeing how things have kind of gone online, and you guys have already kind of been in this space, do you feel like this is an area where you guys are going to continue to go, or do you see any trends in the event industry going this way?
Yeah, people have been forced to embrace these changes during these times because they've had no other choice. I do believe that when things return to some kind of norm, that there will be a combined approach, and so a hybrid consideration of events industry in general.
Sure. Now you work with global sales teams, correct?
Yes.
So
correct.
what is it like now that you're kind of managing global teams? I know you used to travel a lot. You were traveling every week, going somewhere to meet clients and to work with your teams and to do trainings. Has anything changed in that regard in terms of being able to manage your teams and kind of also train with them and incentivize?
Yeah, sure. So nothing's changed in the tools that we use. Of course, how we do the process now has somewhat changed. You're right, there was a lot of travel involved previously, but the pre-meeting tools remain the same, and we've just increased the use of them.
How do you feel that being able to create the relationships, because I know that sales and business and creating new clients is all about relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that everything's gone virtual, do you feel that you're able to create the same kind of relationships that you've had without meeting them in person, and how have you worked to kind of create that?
It's hard to keep someone's attention when they're not in the room. But we do our very best to articulate ourselves, to engage people as often as possible during the meeting, and so I don't think it's ever going to replace in-person meetings, but it sure is getting us there in the meantime.
So Rick, your industry has actually seen growth during this time, right? So you guys have been very lucky.
Absolutely.
So where do you actually see the industry going from now, and maybe even a broader look at the kind of global tech as well?
So I think for my industry, when things return to some kind of normality, the travel will resume, and the events will resume because people love meeting people. But the strategy will be somewhat different, and I believe that the type of technology that we provide to the event industry is going to be a lot more accepted because it came to save them during these interesting times. For the wider reach, I think that the economy is going to be struggling, and so maybe budgets won't be as big, and so people won't do things as extravagantly, and it will take some time to recover.
Sure. You've been working in events and the event industry, interpreting and all of this. How do you feel like the events now are going to create the same kind of results that they used to create? Right? Is there any kind of other innovations you've seen in the actual event industry where events have changed?
You'll see that some technologies that have been around for quite some time and people have been using them, but now that they're embracing them, you'll be surprised how much of the real world stuff you can actually mimic when you're doing it virtually. Augmented reality, virtual reality, all of these conference platforms that are capable of good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see where the industry's going.
So you've seen some innovation there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I guess there is a silver lining in all this. Some innovation has taken shape and will grow. So Rick, really appreciate the chat today. How can people find out more about you and your company and what you guys are up to?
So the website's interprefy.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, Richard Roocroft. And yeah, please join our mailing list, and I welcome any questions that you've got.
Excellent. Well, thanks a lot for your time today. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Cheers, Joe.